Well, hello. Yes, it's me again, the old git. How you doing? Doing all right? Well, today's a very important day. It's a couple of days after the elections that we just had, the local elections, and I'm pleased to say that all Labour Party has been given a bit of a bloody nose, yeah, which is good, which is excellent. That's what we want to see. But he seems to me that he wants to keep hold of power. He wants to be still the top man. He seems as though he has absolutely no remorse, no sense of duty. In fact, he's not a very nice man. But I want to go through some things today only about this man and some of the things he's done, he's doing, and he's about to do. And I need you people to tell me how we're going to get rid of this man. I mean, he's a traitor in every way. And Britain does deserve better. You know, he's done so much bad. This little graphic I've got there, which sort of sums up some of the things he's done. Well, let's take now a closer look at Keir Starmer and the Labour Socialist Party. I usually add Socialist, Stasi, Communist Party. I've proved the UK population is of no interest to them. Absolutely none. After a great success of Reform Party in the recent local elections. But we must remember this. This hapless government is still holding the power. So what comes next? What does come next? I don't know. Let's look back on what Starmer's time in power has done before we can look forward. And the power, the Starmer time, and the direction which he has been taking for the country for the last 2 years. Now, today, which is the 11th of the 5th, 2026, he made a speech because he's been challenged by MPs. People are calling for his resignation, and basically his time is up, but he won't go. And within the speech today, he mentioned only he said 3 points that we're going to do to get back on track, and we can't have these terrible people like the Green Party and Reform leading the country because they're going to let us down badly. According to him, the only people and the only party that can go forward and save Britain, it didn't need saving before he got there, did he? Is his Labour Party. So, I think he made 3 points, but when he was making his speech, one of the most important things to people in the UK is immigration. Too many people who are coming to the country and depending on the UK to, wipe their backsides, pay them, give them money, house them. Whereas he's taxing people to the hilt. So he never mentioned immigration at all in his speech, apart from one time, which I thought was disgusting. He was saying how bad Nigel Farage and the Reform Party are, and we don't need them, and immigration can't be solved. It's his fault. Nothing we can do about it. Nigel Farage has got no plan, only Labour. That's the only time he mentioned immigration, which seemed to me a bit strange when he was saying how he wants to save the country. So straight away, there you go. And also, he sort of hinted at a couple of other things, which I'm going to cover as we go along. But let's look at the man and what he is. Now, as far as I'm concerned, he is nothing but a globalist. I've told you many times that Starmer is a globalist, and he believes in the Fabian way of doing things. And he's doing a good job because he's destroying the country and bringing it to its knees so they can rebuild it with his Fabian socialist ideals, which is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, and the perception of those who label Starmer a globalist often cite his specific policy direction and his historical stance. For example, with the EU, you know, he's getting sort of more close. And I said I'd say this as well in regards to the three things. He wants to go back in the EU. And it really, really makes me angry because he has no mandate from the people or even from his party to do this. Again, doing something that people are going to hate him for. The people voted to leave the EU and he is going to take you back in whether you like it or you don't. This man thinks he knows best for everybody. Now, critics argue Starmer's attempting to reverse Brexit in all but name by seeking closer alignments with the EU single market and potentially accepting EU rules without having to vote, without having a vote on anything that the EU doing. Today, he said he will take us back into Europe, and he has no mandate for that. And he's clouded our relationship with the closest and most powerful ally that we have, the USA. How can this man determine that he'd rather be linked to Europe, it's absolutely failing. Most countries are going bankrupt like the UK, and insult and be horrible to our greatest ally, the most powerful ally we've got, that's America, US of A. How can he refuse to help them? But you have to understand, he wants to be the top man. He wants to be the man. That's why he's a globalist. That's why he's edging in to the EU and all these other countries, you know, trying to bring them all together to make a superpower between them. They couldn't make a firework that go off right between them, let's put it that way. And we are alienating Donald Trump and America, as I say, the most powerful and greatest ally we've ever had, for the sake of this idiot. Now, the USA will not stand by, because in the end they'll say, well, that's what you want? You want your European superpower with no army, with no backup, with no defence, with no raw material, everything you haven't got, but you're going to have this sort of European, pan-European superpower, which of course he's edging for a big job in that with Macron and all the rest of the tomfooleries. But it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, believe me, it's not going to happen. And I'm only happy that Nigel Farage, which I think will be the next Prime Minister, will take the reins, and he knows who his friends are. Now, there's another thing about this. The last time that the Labour Party got voted out, in the Treasury on a desk they left a note, there's no money left. So the task of taking on the Great Britain and the UK, once they get rid of these people, and the sooner the better, because the longer they stay, the more damage they'll do. And they'll do it through sheer bloody mindedness. They want to destroy our culture and our way of life. They really want this utopian, Fabian, socialist ideology, which is not very good. And on the other hand, we've got the radical Islamists trying to take over as well, so attacked on all fronts. Anyway, so what we can say about the man is that he's got no interest in the UK. Anyway, you're going to slip on your coffee. You've got coffee, yeah. Right. Now his approach to border control, this is the one that really is getting up my nose. He has no real plan. He's not pushed the issue, and just like every other prime minister, and I'm afraid the last of the Conservatives didn't do very much. The opportunity to do things for your own country should be your utmost priority. They should be able to control your own borders and decide who comes and who stays in your country. But it seems to me that all parties find it quite difficult. Now, his approach to border control was frequently criticised as being too lenient, with some arguing that his focus international cooperation fails to address domestic concerns, which is true. He lost focus of what was going on, doesn't really care, too busy flying off to somewhere to spread his globalist ideology. And this is one of the reasons why he's failed. Domestic concerns about mass immigration and national identity, he's failed in every way. He cannot control, and he doesn't even know what's going on. And he's got these ridiculous schemes like stop the boats, and he's paying France millions of pounds of taxpayers' money on top of paying all the migrants that get in. How the hell are we going to afford even anything when he's giving the money away? And the fact that he wants to try and, the usual thing, tax the rich to give to the poor. He thinks he's Robin Hood too. He is only going to drive the top people away, and the top people are the people who pay the most tax. So, shoots himself in the foot. But as I said, he's failed the country in many ways, and still is failing. He doesn't address the problems that the UK and Great Britain has. He just does not. He's oblivious. He's too busy out there on his international focusing, He's too busy. God, don't wait up, I'll be bringing peace, have a nice trip. That's all you see. He's flying off everywhere. And frequent criticism is that he prioritises his image and relationship on the world stage over the day-to-day struggles of British workers, which he does. That's all he does. He prioritises everything above the British people. In fact, it seems like he doesn't give two jots about the British people, which is amazing, isn't it, when you think about it? And, he's got no consistency in anything that he does. He's an absolute... Well, he just... Because he doesn't know. He's too busy flying around the world trying to make friends for when he's the head of the global EU, the globalist EU superpower. Yeah, well, that's another story. It will never be. Germany, economics on its knees. Holland on its knees. Belgium on its knees. France on its knees. And, of course, Britain is on its knees. How can they form anything? And how can he have trips all around the world trying to make peace and not help his greatest ally with the airstrips and the rest of it, and still have an Iranian embassy in London, still have dissidents on the streets, still have Iran calling for people loyal to the regime to rise up against them, and he sits there and does nothing, oblivious, and flies off for another meeting to try and make himself the globalist leader of the new Europe. Rubbish. He is an absolute, well, he's an absolute idiot. And when he does talk, and he's often criticised for his U-turns on domestic policies and domestic pledges, while he remains steadfast on international goals like net zero and closer ties with global institutions, as I've just been saying. But he doesn't care what happens in the UK. U-turn after U-turn after, I think he did about 16 U-turn. And like this little graphic, twist or stick, shall I say yes or shall I? He has no clue, because he has no interest in the UK. And his own MPs, which most of them, his front bench is they're like a little mafia. I mean, Angela Rayner in trouble with the tax people. Could be your next Prime Minister, David Lammy. Yeah? Well, we all know his intelligence. He's got a head that was only fit for a billiard ball. That's about it. And, of course, Rachel the thief, who, here from her accounts, she hasn't got a clue. Where's Streeting? When he looks at you with them eyes, I don't know, I think he's got x-ray eyes. He's done a fairly good job with the National Health, or has he? These people are only interested in one thing, and that's power. And Starmer's only interested in not being the Prime Minister of the UK, but being, as I said, the new leader of New Europe. That's his goal. There's no doubt about that. He's done U-turn after U-turn. And net zero with Ed Silliman. Again, millions of pounds of taxpayers' money. Go and spend another few million, Ed. Let's get some more windmills, as Donald Trump told. Oh no, let's get some more solar panels. And it's not right. It's not working, and we are not a big contributor to the pollution. We have the capability and the companies that can produce what's needed to reduce all your carbon stuff. Like, we have nuclear submarines. We've had nuclear powers in submarines for many, many years. Yes? And they're built by Rolls-Royce mainly, and Rolls-Royce are building modular nuclear power stations right now, and he's selling them all over. They take up the size of 2 football pitches, and they can supply 1 million homes. Let's get a few of them dotted round. There you go. That saves electric, and the sun doesn't have to be shining, or the wind doesn't have to be blowing when you've got them installed. So there you go. There's your energy crisis. It's clean energy. Okay, some would say, oh well, what about, when it's spent plutonium and everything? Shut up. We have ways of dealing with that, which we've always had, and people have always had to deal with. Yes, nuclear power is clean energy for you. And then you got all the vehicles, right? I mean, I've just seen a video not long ago that can drive about 1,600 miles on one full tank of hydrogen. The hydrogen I'll say this right. The hydrogen internal combustion engine is just like driving a normal car. In fact, you can convert a normal engine to hydrogen. Why aren't we not producing hydrogen? Is it because the petrol suppliers don't want to get involved in hydrogen? Why is it? It's being used in other countries. I mean, 16,000 cars are running around from Toyota in California. They use them in Germany, I've been told. You go into your filling station, put the nozzle in, 3-4 minutes to fill it up with hydrogen, cap on, pay, go. It's just like petrol. More convenient. And what comes out of the exhaust is clean water. In fact, a guy who's doing a demonstration on a video that I saw actually drank the water. I wouldn't, but he did. But there you go. So we are involved in things that are going to benefit us in no way at all. You want cheap energy? He said he's going to. One of his other things he said he was going to do today is get and take the steel companies into ownership. We can't produce the steel because he hasn't got cheap enough energy. He's a fool. Okay, so as of early 2026, the public opinion. What about that? What's public opinion say about this idiot? There you go. Public opinion. Starmer's leadership is notably low, and his approval rating has reached a record low, with some polls showing as few as 18% of Britons viewing him as favourable. Now, that is not good, is it? I mean, 18% of the people, and you expect to keep your government running and live, and people saying, yes, we've got a great socialist government in the UK and we don't want an election. We need an election right now. Right now. And what about his competence? What about how confident the perception of his competence is probably zero. And of course, as somebody said not long ago, he couldn't lie straight in bed. He's a liar. Broken promises. He's just so not fit for any office. And well, some see him as a technocrat who can bring stability. I don't know who those people are. Others perceive him as toxic or out of touch with the concerns of hard-working Brits. It's been said all over, not the mainstream news, but all over all the news, how toxic this man is, how nobody wants this government, how we want a general election. And when somebody is as stupid and as thick as Zach Polanski from the Greens can put together a party, or take over a party which was meant for other reasons, and take away the Muslim vote from Labour with this party, and that's basically just because they won't vote Conservative or for reform. But some areas have. I mean, Kirklees, I think, which is a big Asian area, they've gone reform. So the man has lost his Muslim vote. He's lost the confidence of people. Yeah, he's lost any power that he may have in number 10 and in the Commons, because he'll be ripped to shreds every time. And Kerry Badenoff there, she will rip him apart. She certainly will. Although I couldn't vote for Conservatives, I surely wish that she was with the Reform Party, because she's a good politician, a really good politician. So, all being told, today was a landmark day, and I feel that I've got off. I'll have to rant. That's the main thing. And Keir Starmer's doing nobody any favours except himself. And the sooner he's gone, the better. Now, I was also going to talk about Keir Starmer's beliefs, but I think I'll save that for another video, because as I've mentioned many times, Keir Starmer's Fabian beliefs signify the shape and the view of Britain, and they emphasise his gradualistic, pragmatic approach to rebuild the country, social, economic, blah blah blah, whatever. But he is a Fabian, and he wants Fabian values, and he doesn't mind who he has to stand on, who he has to walk over, and how far the country has to go down. He really doesn't care. He wants this sort of what they see as a utopian society. But anyway, I've spoke about it in another video, which is if you visit one of Rumble, for example, you can see that video where I talk about the Fabian society as well. That's all I'm going to do today, because if I go any further, I lose any hair I have. I don't have any hair, you know. As I've always say to you, please send me some feedback. You've got the socials running along the bottom there. Also, I want to buy some more equipment, because I do it all myself. So that's why my intro is so long, because I'm doing this and that and making everything ready. So, and I can alleviate that by buying new equipment. But obviously, I need to earn to do it, because I'm only a poor pensionista, as they say over here. But anyway, one of those people that Keir Starmer wants me to die quickly, so he doesn't pay my pension. Right, anyway, that's enough of that. So yes, there's a tip jar on Rumble, and there's also, you could also make a whatever subscription, whatever it is, and that would be great. I'm also on Substacks, and I'm also on Kick. What else am I on? Oh, and Twitch. Yeah, I'm on those, and I'm on others as well, but anyway, who needs to keep... You'll find me if you want to. Well, I prefer you to go to Rumble, because I can earn a little bit of money out of Rumble. Alright then, that's it for now. Until the next time, if you can, have a wonderful day. It's so depressing, and you start talking about this man. And there's quite a few people now who think the way that I think. We want a general election. And I do believe on the 16th of this month, Tommy Robinson's got something going in the UK, another solidarity thing. And as he said, he's not a racist. Everybody calls him a racist. You know, I think the government owe him a debt of thanks for some of the things he's done. But it's Solidarity Day. I don't know what it entails. And also, I also want to lodge my disgust with the radical, horrible Islamists who are not just attacking Jewish people, because it's them that are doing it. What are the anti-Semites, whatever you want to call them. The Jewish people have done nothing wrong, and I stand with the Jewish people, I really do. And I feel sorry for the good, hard-working Muslims in the UK who have to stand being taken over, like us, by these radical Islamists. We need to get rid of them so that we can all live together happily. And of course, number one priority right now is a general election, and get rid of Comrade Stasi. Alright, that's it. Enough. Until next time, stay safe, and hopefully we can chat soon. The old git, that's me, aka Michael. We're out of here.